Zimbabwe Human Rights Association. On the 12th of April, ZimRights launched the People's Human Rights Manifesto at an event that was attended by about 5 representatives from Zimbabwe's major political parties. So just to give a background, the People's Human Rights Manifesto is a product of a wide consultative process which ZimRights undertook in 2022 to engage with communities ahead of the 2023 elections. The idea behind these engagements was to shift electoral power from the hands of the politicians into the hands of the people. Zimbabwe has a legacy of contested elections, and the history of elections in Zimbabwe is such that citizens are treated mainly as subjects, only receiving freebies in the run-up to elections, but without elections delivering real transformation in their communities. So we had conversations in 2022 with representatives from all the 10 provinces of the country, speaking about what is the place of human rights in electoral processes. And our members spoke out very clearly that they are tired of a culture of violence, bribery, and cultism when it comes to elections. What does this mean? It means when elections come, politicians come with freebies. That's bribery. Once the elections are finished, they disappear. But not only that, they also bring violence, a lot of intimidation, and a lot of citizens feel this takes away their right to participate freely and make choices. Cultism, what does this mean? It means there's no substantial approach to policy in terms of substance and merits. Elections are treated like a beauty contest instead of going into the bread and butter issues. So citizens then said, why, instead of us waiting for politicians to come and tell us what they think we want, why don't we come together and identify key expectations that we need from politicians and then develop a people's manifesto? And when politicians come to seek for our vote, instead of them treating us as dumb, as people who don't know what they want, we make very clear our expectations from the politicians. So in these conversations that happened in over 219 communities across the country, there came the People's Human Rights Manifesto, which captures 10 key asks from the people of Zimbabwe. And when you look at these key asks, they are all rooted in human rights. But the most important thing is these are very simple, practical key asks that relate to the actual bread and butter issues that the people of Zimbabwe are facing. Now, they decided to go beyond that. So instead of just making key asks, the People's Manifesto then identifies under each of the asks 5 action points. Now, this corresponds with the political term for most political leaders. So if you then go into the manifesto, you'll be able to see that under each key ask, there is what we call the action wheel, which has got the action points. And then in this action wheel, what we are simply saying is real transformation is beyond just political slogans. So when we make an ask and invite you as a prospective leader to commit to that ask, there are 5 things that you should comply with over the period of your tenure. And in addition to each of those asks, under the 5 asks, there is now a tracking card which allows citizens to then, during the tenure of that particular political leader, to track what has been promised in each of those key asks. Now, what this does is it transforms electoral processes from simply becoming a power contest to actually becoming a social transformation movement, in the sense that it's not just going to be about 23 August, but beyond 23 August, the citizens are able to come with this manifesto, with those action points, and speak to their political leaders, hold them accountable. But beyond that, it becomes a gift to the politicians for trust building. So the politicians should stop seeing this accountability tool as a burden, but they should see it as an invitation to build trust with the communities. And if they follow the key action points that are in the manifesto, at the end of their 5 years, they are able to come back without shame to say, I have delivered on this manifesto. So it's a win-win. So we launched this on the 12th of April, and since then, citizens have been running with the manifesto, looking for their political leaders, asking them to sign up to the manifesto. As you can see, at the end of the manifesto, there we have a commitment card, which citizens will enter into with their prospective political leaders. We can say all the major political parties in this country have so far agreed to this manifesto, including the major political parties, which is Zanu PF, and where you can see the signature by the president of Zanu PF, as well as CCC, MDCT. I understand they've now pulled out of the elections, but they had signed the manifesto. NCA has signed the manifesto, and going down to their representatives in communities, in wards, they are signing the manifesto.